Hello everyone, Ada here, and welcome to another Verizon castle tour. Today we'll be touring the Oakveil Estate, and if you want to watch the castle tour without me talking over it, then there'll be a video in the description. There'll be there'll be a silent tour. Without further ado, let's get right into the castle tour by looking at where it's located. So the castle is situated in the Oakveil woodlands in the southeast, and I placed it here because of this. First of all, the plot size is quite nice, but also the environment is amazing. So you got this river around here, and I love water in this game. So of course, as soon as I saw this river, I wanted to place either a castle here or here. And also, this plot is on a very tall hill, which overlooks the river, and overlooks all of this wooded area here, and it creates some great views, which you will see in the front gardens. Additionally, there's a lot of ponds around here. There's no ponds on the plot itself, which is a bit of a shame, but the ponds around it are very nice to look at, and you can kind of see them because sometimes there's corruption which creates breaks in the wood, so you can actually see all of the ponds. But that's where it's located. Let me hide my hood again. Let's actually go into bat form. And just so you know, this estate, it's more of a lord's estate. You'll kind of see that here. So unlike my previous castles, which are more like royal palaces, this one's supposed to be like a lord's manor. Actually, I'm going to go over here so we can get this cool view as I follow the river going up to it, because I think this looks amazing. Isn't that neat? But because it's supposed to be an estate, normally when I see estates there's a lot of open land, so that's why this front garden here doesn't have too much on it, but just have this fountain and such. Then if I go off to the side gardens here, see a little bit, this is actually the Golem Garden down here. And it's called the Golem Garden because, spoiler, there's a golem in it, and I think that's pretty neat. Here we have the back gardens, which it's mainly just one garden. However, if you want to separate, you have like this cherry blossom portion, this middle portion which is like going from the staircase into the castle or estate, and then you have the statue area which overlooks this nice little pond. And let's go back to the side here where we just were. This one isn't as nice to look at in bat view because it's a lot of trees covering it, but this garden here is one of my favorites. Let's actually look above the castle as well, just so we get all of the views of the castle. So there's the front. Here's the back garden again. And now let's make a landing and start the grand tour. So, come up to the side. So unlike my previous castles where you walk up the stairs and you're greeted with the main castle, this one you actually go to the side is the front entrance technically. It's a bit confusing, but I kind of like it. Makes like this little path as you go up to the front. It's kind of neat to walk around. But not too much in this front garden, or side garden technically. Just a lot of tree cover and places to sit. And this is one of my favorite gardens though, right here. Just love how, I don't know, it's so shaded, especially during the day. I'm trying to be quiet so you can hear that fountain. Oh, it's so nice. And the Oakveil trees really make this garden just so beautiful. I wish you could put these trees in like the sapling areas, but I can't get saplings from them, so it's a bit of a shame. But the trees kind of cover up all of the corruption in the background, but you can kind of peek through at it. You can see like the river and then the corrupt plants over there. And let's get an aerial view here so you can see how shaded it is. I love this garden. Now let's go up And actually, as we go up, I'm going to look back at the garden, so we get this view of it. Very nice. And now we're at the front of the castle, or estate. We have this nice fountain, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about with this view from up atop the hill. But we'll get a better view as we go to the gazebo. But here we have the fountain, which is highlighted by the blue flowers and then the orange flowers leading up to it. Pretty neat. And then here we have the front of the castle. Very nice. It's very open, there's not too much decoration for the front. So, let's ring the bell. Let's actually go inside now. But we have the main lounge or lobby area. It's not as grand as other lobbies, but still very large, very welcoming for any guest. Let's actually look through these windows here. You can't see, yeah, on the video you can't really see too much, but like if you imagine you're a vampire, you'd be looking right up at the fountain and the front gardens through these windows, which is quite nice. So enough for that. I'll just go to the guest area. So we have this nice seating at the end of the hallway. And I will highlight some of the hallways a little bit too much as, a little bit more than previous videos, as because of these small chairs here, I've done a lot more seating, and the hallways aren't the exact same like I do in previous castles. So I think that's pretty neat. So I'll show that off a little bit. But here we have the purple guest bedroom. You know, there's not too much, just 2 tiles, but once again, because of these small chairs that they added, it just, I don't know, these chairs are amazing. Now, let's go to the green. Actually, let's look at the blue one first, or second. Pretty much the same as the purple, just with a few minor differences. Now we'll go into the green guest bedroom, which is my favorite. Because if you look out the window here, to see the sakura tree or the cherry blossom tree, and it's just beautiful. Looks like a portrait, doesn't it? Like, not a portrait, like a painting. I love this view so much. Because of the clear windows, you can actually see through them. The changes they made in the update are very nice, I think. Let's go outside now. Here we are just above the Golem Garden, but we have a lot of the views of the outside forest. If we look down, we can actually see the golem, hence the name, the Golem Garden. But I'll talk more about that as I get down there. As you can see, all the trees in the background. That's why I love Oakveil. The environment's so nice, it's kind of like Silverlight, just Silverlight's so nice of an environment. Oakveil's very nice as well. At least when you don't have too much corruption. And then here you have Matilda, my horse. But it's kind of stuck in the hedges a little bit. Oopsie. But you know, just a shrine to Matilda, very nice. And they've got this fountain, nice little resting area. Nothing too special. And then we have this little tea area, or gazebo, which overlooks this beautiful view. I'll go here because it shows it off a little bit more. Oh, isn't this amazing? I want to put a garden here with my cursors, because that's technically a castle plot. Well, it is a castle plot. However, when I did put a garden there, it just looked a bit odd, so I kept it as trees and stuff, which is quite nice. I don't know, I love this so much. You've got the looping river, with the stone bridge going over it. I love this view so much, it's so good. Regardless, let's go back indoors, and we'll go to some of the amenities. Starting off with the library. we've got the library, some nice seating. Once again, these small chairs are just perfect for everything. They're so nice, they're not comically large like the old one. Or old ones. Seating on this side, and then plenty of books to choose from on the other side. And here we've got the library balcony, which is possibly my favourite balcony. So if you look out from here, you have this pond, which is very nice to look at. You have this frontal area, and then you have the cherry blossom trees. I don't know, I just think it's so peaceful. Like, if you just imagine like taking out your book, going out here and just reading it. Very nice. Now let's make our way to the dining hall. You have the dining hall. Very nice with the new tables that they added. Look at it from this view. I'll check out these windows. I don't think this one has a good view. I mean, you can kind of see a bit of the garden that I like. And then of course, you have the kitchen. And then off from the dining room. There's not too much going on in the kitchen, as there's not too many props for cooking in Foyer. You know, got the finest blood selection and potions. And the dining room balcony. It's pretty nice. It's not too many grand views here. Let's look at it from the center. I do like this area here. As you look down, you can see the pond. If you look up, you can see the pond in the distance as well. Kind of nice. And then from this side, you can see that the natural garden. Now let's make our way upstairs to the permanent residence of the estate. However, before we make it fully up here, once again this is supposed to be like a lord's estate, so I kind of wanted to have portraits of like the previous lords or whatever. So, you know, it goes like from the oldest lord to the previous lord, and then to me, well, I guess the lady of the manor or the estate. At least that's the story behind this. I thought it was neat for like an estate like this. Give it some story. Or some history more like. But anyway, as we make our way to the top of the stairs, we have this lounge area or hallway here. Just the landing, I guess, it'd be called. And this window is very nice, you can look outside, and of course, once again the clear windows with the new clear water. Oh, it's so nice. And then here we have the master bedroom. Nothing too fancy. Just the larger bedroom. With of course a stone coffin for myself. Now, this is the residence hallway. So once again, there's a lot of seating in the hallways now. Instead of just vases all over the place. And this view is quite nice as well, looking over the pond. You can kind of see the Golem Garden below you. One of the permanent residents of the castle. And of course this room is one of the only rooms to have a balcony. And this balcony is just very beautiful. The views from here are just absolutely stunning. Like, no matter where you look, it's just... Oakveil is such a beautiful place. Of course, if you look straight down, you can sort of see the Golem Garden as well. Can't see the Golem though. This thing is blocked by the castle. We go into the second permanent resident. Of course, decent view from this one. Although it's mostly just trees, so it's nothing too special. Still a nice view. And then the last permanent resident of the estate. This one's supposed to be more, I don't know, it's a lot more weapons and stuff, because I couldn't put a window in this room without throwing off the balance of the estate. So I thought, you know, making it a bit darker, even though there's still a lot of lights, but darker, and then put weapons everywhere. It's like a boys' room. That was pretty neat. So now make our way downstairs. And we'll go into the basement, where we'll just look at the hallway initially. So we have the stairs going down. Of course, since the basement's a little bit darker. Once again, all of the sides of this hallway are a little bit different. Here we have the servants' quarters. With, of course, a lovely statue. Oops. And this goes out to that side pathing where the main entrance technically is. Go all the way down to the back. We have one of the servant rooms. So of course, because they're for servants, there's no wallpaper. But still very fancy. Try to not have as many decorations in these ones, though this room is somewhat an exception. This is where I hid the castle heart, because honestly it did not fit anywhere else in the castle, so... Thought it would fit in the headmaid room. And of course another maid room here. And then the last of the servants' rooms. There's nothing too groundbreaking about these. Now let's go to the Golem Garden. Which is a very, very nice garden. So here we have the golem, and around the daytime sometimes he moves around. I had to trap him in here, which was a pain. Very, very painful mission to trap him in here. But otherwise he just roams around this place and just blocks the paths, which can be nice. That's why it's called the Golem Garden, because there's a golem here. And as soon as I saw this golem and I saw that I could place things underneath him, like, I just knew I had to keep him alive, even though the garden would probably be nicer without a golem. I thought it was pretty neat. We have a little overhang. It's just a very nice shaded area to sit down. Of course, just a lot of shiny flowers around. This bench is quite nice though, so I like the view up here. We have the pond and the large trees. And then of course the statue with the fountain in front of it. Of course, I love this. For some reason, this fire blossom, just, it's above the lab. Did not get placed down here. But honestly, I think it's kind of funny. It's a flying flower. Adds to the uniqueness of this garden, I guess. And now let's go to the final garden, or gardens, depending if you feel like separating it. But before we do so, we have this this patio area. Very nice sit down, you know, talk with friends and whatnot. This side is beautiful as well, because you can see they have that. It's kind of like a willow, some type of tree here, crooked tree. Then you have this beautiful garden to the side with the cherry blossoms and the snow flowers, which shine so nice. Go outside, go to the right. Well, actually, before we do that, let's look at. You can see that all the snow flowers somewhat outline the castle. Here we have, I guess, the statue portion, the back gardens. It overlooks this beautiful pond. Small pond, don't get to see too much of it. It's just a nice area to sit down. Now we'll go to the cherry blossom garden. Well, before we do so, we'll make a stop. Look at this tree again. This tree is just perfect. And then of course, I have these tall hedges here, because those, you can see the corruption here with my cursor is, the top right of your screen. And I thought it looked a little bit ugly, so I wanted to shade the viewer from that, so yeah, can't really see it with the tall hedges. But of course you have this beautiful garden here. Snow flowers and a fountain on either side. As you zoom out, it's just like picture perfect. I love this portion of the garden. And if we make our way over here, we have this nice gated area. Well, it's not gated, whatever you call this, with the overhangs, the metal overhangs, the fountains peeking through. And of course, got the staircase here. That's the the Oakveil Estate. Thank you all for watching. It's a much smaller castle than my previous castles, the Silverlight Chateau especially. However, kind of fits the theme I was going for like a lord's estate. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.